Welcome to the Beyond Iconic podcast, where we dive into the vast world of art iconography through somewhat casual commentary. We're your hosts, Naja
and Crystal, two artsy friends looking beyond the icons just for the hell of it.
Welcome back, everybody. It's so good to be back again.
Yes. Happy Love Month. It's
yes,
Galentine's
happy Love Month,
Day.
everybody.
Yes.
Well, as of recording, it's tomorrow, so woo.
Well, I don't even know what today is. What is today?
Today's the 13th, and tomorrow is Valentine's Day.
Oh, yay! Love day.
Yes. A happy Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day or Palentine's Day for those who don't have a special, person. So, we gotta be inclusive with the love. Love is not exclusive to couples,
Yes, correct.
So,
oh, I love that.
Yes,
I've never heard Valentine's Day.
We should have done that, but I wasn't creative enough to think of a Palentine's Day.
I know. I'm so envious of girls who have girl squads that are active and actually do Galentine's Day because they get really cute. They have nice
if only
table settings and wine and stuff. I'm just
yes,
really
all fancy and stuff. Yes. But other than Valentine's Day, how was your January?
My January was very stressful up until this point, because even my February was a little bit stressful because I got my wisdom teeth out. My face was very, very puffy, and I've been doing a lot of cleaning lately because I tried to hide my cat from my landlord. So far, so good. I haven't gotten
Oh my gosh,
notice.
I hope they don't find this podcast.
I know, dude, but anywho, I've been cleaning like a mad woman for all my free time, so this is my first time getting some social interaction, and it's been nice.
That sounds very stressful. I've definitely been there. My January was it was just so busy. I'll say that it was stressful just because it was busy. I felt like I didn't really have enough time to invest in recreational activities, you know? So it was all work and no play, and even my play was still work. It's I still need to figure out that, balance, but right now I just take every day as it comes. I just had a show, which was cool. I didn't sell a lot of stuff, but it wasn't really the crowd. It was a bunch of families and children, and the children liked what I had, but their parents were like, no, we're not gonna get this.
It's too sensual.
Right. They're like, oh, this is too provocative. Which I get. I totally get that.
Yes, it's intentionally.
Yes, intentionally provocative. We have an optional question on this script, and I think we should talk about this because I think it's interesting. So, what was your first kiss like? Since this is the season of love, we're gonna think about our
walking down
either
memory
good
lane.
Kisses or not so great kisses.
So my first kiss was at a Barnes and Noble's. As a middle schooler would, you have all your dates at the mall because that's the only socially acceptable public place that your parents would let you go to. And we always met at a Barnes and Noble's. We'd go to the comic book section and read little comic books. And we were in the magazine section, and I think he had just bought me a blanket and a cute little turtle stuffed animal. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what the fuck we were doing, but we were trying to hide behind the plushie, and we were I was so happy for the turtle plushie and the blanket that I was like, oh my god, I gotta kiss this boy. And we were just awkwardly shielding ourselves with the blanket and the turtle and kissed, and it was in a Barnes and Noble's in the magazine.
Oh, that's section. So wholesome. That's way more wholesome than mine.
What was yours like?
My first kiss was at I think I was in elementary school.
Oh, whoa.
And I was going to this daycare before and after school, and there was this boy that I had a crush on, and like we were kind of sweet on each other and stuff. So one day I was like sitting on his lap, and we were kissing. It's just some, we're children. We're like, we see adults kiss. Yeah. Let's kiss because we like each other.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I was eating chips while
God, no.
kissing him. And it was so gross. I remember it, but like, it's just the worst. It's the worst. And then after that, one of the higher ups, the people that were like watching us, they were like, "Stop doing that!
No. You're nasty."
They were like, "You can't do that." And I get it. You don't want the kids to be making out and shit.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But yeah, that's the very first one that I remember. I think there was probably one before that, but I dissociated a lot as a kid, so like I don't remember a lot of
we don't talk to that part of me. We couldn't
it's
even
in the
tap
vault
into
somewhere,
it.
like
yeah.
But yeah, all right. Now that we've got that out the way, what are you excited for this coming year for you and your partner?
I'm excited. Me and Simon are planning on saving some money to go to Japan because we have like all these like other big adulty life decisions that we're gonna do. Like we want to get a house, we want to have kids. So we're like, before we have the kids, we want to do traveling because that's like a big goal for us.
Yes.
So
that is the way.
Yeah.
Very responsible family planning.
But financially, it's going to take a little bit of time to get there. But the plan is that we get to go for 1 week to Japan sometime near the end of this year before we have to move to a new state.
Oh man, that's going to be so fun.
I know. I'm really excited. I know we can do it.
I'm so excited for you guys.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
What about you guys?
Well, we're also planning a trip, and it's not international because he doesn't have a passport.
Well,
so
oh my god,
we chose to go.
You just reminded me we need to get Simon's passport stuff ready.
Yes, you got it. Yes, you got to get the passport. You ain't going anywhere.
I know.
But yeah, we decided to go to Colorado since we've both been thinking about it. We were thinking about skiing, and like I think it'll be really fun. So we're gonna take like a longish weekend.
Yeah.
Like fly there on Thursday, come back on Sunday. So it'll be a short trip, but
that's still good.
It's pretty close anyway. So yeah. So and it was pretty affordable. So we're really excited to do that. It's supposed to be for Valentine's Day, but I was like, this is too like soon. I don't have money saved up for this.
Yeah, let's push it back a little bit.
I was like, we'll push it and still call it a Valentine's Day trip.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought that was fair, but yeah, I'm so excited for that.
Yeah. So if that's gonna be your Valentine's Day, what are you guys gonna do for are you gonna do anything else for Valentine's Day or just save?
Oh yes. Okay, so he got me a bunch of gifts and gave them to me early because I asked for them.
Oh my God.
He asked me if I wanted them early, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna say no. But yeah, so I got him a cast iron skillet, a bigger one, because he's been wanting a bigger one, and I'm gonna cook us dinner tonight or tomorrow night. And just have a romantic evening.
Chef Naja, what's on the menu, Chef Naja?
It's crab stuffed salmon. We both love salmon, so it's so fancy, right? I saw a recipe on Instagram, and I was like,
that sounds delicious.
Yes, so good. There's also fettuccine on it, so it's like a pasta, seafood pasta, but it's topped with the salmon and crab, and it's gonna be so good.
Every single piece of ingredient that you're saying is just chef kisses.
Okay, so if you don't know, every episode we pick an icon to deep dive within an overarching theme. This theme, of course, is love, with an emphasis on Black artists in honor of Black History Month. Since Crystal went first last time, I will go first this time, which is very fitting, since I am a Black artist.
Exactly!
We stand solidarity. This month, I decided to analyze the icon of the swan. The most well-known species of swan are the Cygnus olar, or the mute swan, which is the one with the white feathers and the orange bill and the black knob on the top.
Oh, yes.
Apparently all of the mute swans we see in North America are more than likely to have descended from Europe from the mid-1800s to the early 1900s. These majestic yet aggressive animals are icons of love and romance in our society due to their ability to form long-lasting bonds with their mates. They're said to mate for life, but that is until their other mate dies. And it doesn't matter the sex, it could be the male or the female, they will still remate. And I don't blame them because nature is brutal.
I'm saying.
It's like we gotta couple up for, survival.
I know. I mean, Simon said that if he ever died, he would rather I find somebody else, I think.
Yes. Wait till he hears this. He's gonna be like, I never said that.
What? I know.
Oh, but not only that, people also say that they symbolize love because of the heart shape they make with their necks when they nuzzle together. I'm sure everyone has seen that image before. I know I have in cartoons and whatnot. I think it's ironic that they symbolize love while also being simultaneously the most aggressive fowl in general. Like, I know ducks and, honestly geese would probably be up there because they're pretty rowdy.
Yes.
But yeah, especially the mothers. The mothers get really aggressive because they're trying to protect their young.
Yeah.
They usually lay around 3 to 8 eggs, and they protect them and incubate them for like 37 to 38 days on average. And when I say protect, I mean to the death.
Oh shit.
Swans, specifically mutes, have the highest reputation for attacking people on and off the land. They hate the boats and the jet skis, but of course they only really attack you if their young is in danger, or some ignorant people like try to provoke them. I think any of us would kind of tussle with somebody if they were threatening our family or just taking the piss at us.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Hell yeah.
These creatures are incredibly beautiful, and it's no wonder why their likeness is associated with delicate regalness and just ultimate beauty. Even Swarovski's logo is a silhouette of a swan, and I'm sure we all know, but Swarovski is a jewelry company.
Oh.
But I'm a James Avery girl. I grew up on James Avery. So
Oh my god!
The privilege, I know.
I love James Avery. They don't have James Avery
Same.
over here, and it really upsets me.
No way, that's awful. Do they have Swarovski?
I don't know.
Have you seen them around?
They have K's.
Okay, we stand K's.
Every
Okay.
kiss begins, okay.
Absolutely. All right, pivoting into the artist and the artwork I'll be discussing today. John Holyfield's lithograph Soulmates utilizes swan iconography in the background as one of the many motifs for love and romance. In the foreground, there's a black couple embracing each other, admiring a couple of butterflies and the flowers that frame them both. Before I get too ahead of myself, though, going into the butterflies and all that iconography, I want to talk a little bit more about John. He is a proud father and widely considered one of the top African-American contemporary artists, very much known for his children's book illustrations, which I think is adorable. One of the most popular being his debut, The Hard Times Jar, written by Ethel Footman Smothers. When I looked this up, I instantly recognized the cover along with another book he illustrated called Hammering for Freedom. I think I actually recognized that one more than The Hard Times Jar.
Yes.
I remember the centralized mail and him hammering the horseshoe and everything. And I feel like because the image was so impactful, that's why I remember it. I remembered seeing it at like book fairs and stuff. Mm-hmm. But though I've seen them, I've never actually read these books, unfortunately. I may invest in a couple of them if I ever have kids.
Right.
I would really want to have some children's books that focus on African American history and the Black experience, in addition to all the traditional American classics, of course.
Yes.
But other than his children's book illustrations, his paintings and prints are nothing to overlook. Going into his upbringing, John was born and raised by his grandparents in Clarksburg, West Virginia, after being orphaned as a child. He spent a lot of time with them and his church community, having always been captivated by the church environment. This explains why the majority of his artwork focuses on themes of family, spirituality, and culture. As a young child, his grandparents noticed his gravitation towards the arts. He exhibited incredible skill and eventually decided to dedicate his life to it, which, I totally get since we did that.
Right? Yeah.
If you're good at something, you just stick to it and just pursue it.
Yep.
He studied graphic design at Howard University and the University of Washington, D.C. Our mans was educated.
Yes, fellow
yes,
graphic designer.
We love that. Yes. One thing I admire about Holyfield is his love for our community. He loves his people so much, he accentuated the things that set the Black community apart from others, that included music, heritage, and the traditions we hold. You can really see this in his paintings and the way he captures the essence of what rural life was like for our community is just beautiful. It's just so expressive and I love it. To the gestures, to the environments, and even the palettes. I'm going to read a quote from the Overdue Recognition Art Gallery's website. I think it really encompasses how he felt about his art and art in general. He says, "I feel very fortunate to have found my purpose in life at such an early age. My art is truly an extension of myself, my voice. Maybe my images will evoke fond memories of your life's experiences, and hopefully they will influence the young minds and hearts of generations." I really just resonated with that because I myself knew what I wanted to pursue at a young age, and I knew what my purpose was going to be, and I just wanted to express myself through art and also have it be an extension of myself, just like him. And even though I wasn't raised on his books, like I get it, and I do think he managed to put his stamp on Black art and history and all of that. I think his style is so, like, for his time, it was really something new.
Yeah.
And some of his influences can be attributed to Ernie Barnes in terms of figure stylization. If you look up one of his pieces, you'll see the clear, like, similarities with the figures and how he, like, positions them, and they're just so bendy too. Like it's just like it's really wavy. That's all I can
very
think.
Fluid.
I think
like very fluid.
Yeah, it's very fluid. That's the perfect word. Yes. He can attribute Norman Rockwell for his shading and use of light, and to Frederick Leighton for his rendering of fabric. I love the way Holyfield plays with movement by exaggerating the figure's limbs. They bend and they curve with ease, creating pleasing viewing experiences that I just, they take me away. Yeah. My eyes follow the lines and it carries me throughout the whole piece, and I think that's a really cool thing to achieve, because not only is he depicting something that's close to him, but he's also providing an actual nice viewing experience. His print called Courtin demonstrates this movement very heavily. It's really expressive. It's another Black love couple type of piece of art, and the two are dancing in a field of flowers. Like, it's so romantic and just so flowy, so fluid. Now, going into his lithograph, Soulmates. One thing I think the Black community holds dear is the power of Black love, and this piece really embodies the beauty of that. The palette is very warm, the couple's expressions are very soft, and even though they aren't looking at each other, you can tell their energy is meshed.
Yes.
Something I noticed too is how he maintains the theme of two souls coming together as one, by making sure to couple some of the icons in the piece.
Yes.
Not only the swans, but the two birds in the sky. I'm not sure what kind they are, but my brain wants to believe that they're doves, because that would just be, duh.
Right.
and the 2 butterflies, and the flowers on both sides of the canvases. The canvas.
Yes.
I can't decide whether or not her necklace of cowrie shells should only bear 2, or if that's a little bit overkill with the pairings. Cowrie shells symbolize fertility, so maybe it's a subtle indication that the woman is with child. That would exemplify the idea of 2 souls coming together as one on a whole nother level. One can only guess, but I think it's a great guess.
I think that's an amazing guess, yeah. Oh,
yeah, right?
Cute.
And I'm looking at it now, and it's just like, it would make sense, with the context of them being soulmates. Of course, soulmates would come together and birth life, and create new life.
Yeah.
Accomplishing this amount of detail with lithography takes a lot of time and patience. The process of lithography is when an inked image on a metal or paper plate is transferred to a smooth rubber cylinder, then to the paper. In order to have a multicolor print, you'd have to make multiple plates or matrices for the printmaking nerds out there. You have to make multiple matrices for multiple colors, and this piece is absolutely packed with color. And I adore this man's work. He inspires me greatly to just keep pursuing my passion, and I hope you all enjoyed my analysis of that.
Yes. Oh, that was lovely.
Yes, and I didn't even realize that he was kind of a printmaker in a sense too, because he actually did make prints.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this brings me back to Xenia's all her printmaking classes. I wish I could just dive right back in. I wish I could have used that lithography thing. I think it came with like a paper plate, and like some people were doing lithography, but like I was too scared to like jump into it because it's so extensive. It's just like, you gotta get it perfect.
Right.
But yeah.
I can't even imagine like how he even managed to get so many colors. Cause isn't the lithography thing like a slab of, it's like a whole ass slab of whatever that is.
Yeah, so you have to make more than one of those. You can't just like, it's not like like an etching where you slowly take away and you like make more layers with the same plate. It's literally, you have to make different plates or slabs.
That is intense. Looking at how many colors are in there, I like. Right? It makes me like, really, how many plates did he have to make to do this? $3,000 worth of plates. Yes, right. And then like, it's just so lovely. I think it just, like you said, it envelops the feeling of Black love, and it's just, they have like matching like outfits. They both have little stripes.
Yes, it's so cute. I have it pulled up right here, so I'm looking.
And like the stripes are also like mimicked in her hair. There's just so much like nice, pleasing details. And I'm absolutely so happy that you shared this, because I would have never found it on my own, and I very much appreciate getting to appreciate this really beautiful piece of art.
Yes, I'm happy to share.
Yes, of course. And then like, if you think about like how much time he must have put into it, it in itself is like a labor of love for like art.
Absolutely.
And also like celebrating Black art. I mean, Black love.
Yes. There's so much about this man's life that just screams love. Love for his community, love for God, because he has a lot of religious pieces, like spiritual pieces of like choirs and angels, and those are really nice too. And yeah, I think this piece is actually in a series that he called Black Love or something along those lines, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, yay! 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 piece.
Clap for you, John Holyfield. One day I will purchase all of your children's books and probably just keep them for myself.
Nobody touch them. Don't crease the pages or the spine.
Yes, keep them in pristine condition.
All right.
Oh, Lordy.
Oh, Lordy. We are about to get
excited for this.
into the hot mess that was me doing a shit ton of research the day before of this recording because I was like so busy with all of the things that life was throwing at me that I was like, okay, I have set the goal that we're recording today. So that means I gotta write this shit because I had pretty much nothing. But I had like thoughts in my head, but last night was just me like pounding the paper with my
in there, trying to mesh all the themes, because I know how hard it is to like organize all of the information you're taking in into like a good readable, like cohesive essay, basically.
Exactly.
This is literally an essay you could turn in probably and get 100.
This is probably better than some of our classmates' works that they turned into art history. That's right.
Oh my
I went
gosh,
there.
That's the tea.
That's the tea.
That's the tea.
We work harder on these things, and we're not even in school.
Right.
We're just passionate.
This is for our brain activity, okay? We need more of it.
Exactly. All right. Well, I have chosen the mythical, magical, and amazing harp as my icon for the theme of love. And honestly, I feel like I've been living under a rock because I was looking up symbols of love, and every single list was like, oh my god, the harp, the harp, the harp, the harp. The harp is, oh my god, it is the symbol of love that everyone should know about. And I have never made that connection in my brain.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I think I just always thought it was like a pretty instrument, you know? But I didn't know it was like a legit symbol of love, like, you know, like like the swan, you know?
Right, yeah. I think I've heard of the harp being like I've seen like angels playing the harp, but it was always in like a biblical context, you know? I never thought of it being like a symbol of love, so that's interesting.
Exactly. So that's why I was like, okay, well, this is a symbol of love, and I love music, so this is a good one to deep dive, because how could I pass up, you know, learning more about something I really enjoy, which is music, and like, I guess I just don't know things, so I just thought it was really interesting, and I wanted to know more about it.
It's okay to not know things, because then you can just discover things.
Exactly, and discovering is very fun. So I have a couple of fun facts about the harp. The harp is one of the oldest instruments in the world. It dates back to 300 BC, and its first depictions were on sides of the ancient Egyptian tombs and in Mesopotamian cultures. So way back in the very beginning.
I would have never guessed Egyptian and Mesopotamian. That's crazy.
I know. I was like, how would they do the strings? Like, drums make sense to me. But, like, strings are just so intricate that I'm just like, how did they...
Like, what did they make the strings out of? That would be my question.
I would think, like, you know how they made paper out of skin? It probably was skin or, like, intestines. Because they
just, like,
wanted
really
to...
thin skin.
Right? Because they were like, what could we use this for? We're going to make it efficient in some way. So that's my guess, probably, what it was.
Yeah. always default to skin.
Always use that. And then the second fun fact that I thought was really interesting was that Africa has the largest variety of harps, which in the theme of like Black history, I thought that was interesting that they had the most variations of harps. So I would just never guess that kind of thing, right?
Right, yeah.
So I was like, boom, Checkaroony, another good reason why I picked the harp for for this month's icon.
Nice.
And then it is Ireland's national emblem besides the shamrock. And it'll make a lot more sense as I deep dive into this, because I was just like, damn, the harp is really important.
Yeah.
So as I began to research the origins of a harp being an icon of love, one of the most consistently quoted reasons why the harp is a symbol of love is because in Celtic cultures, apparently, allegedly, the harp symbolizes a bridge of love connecting heaven and earth. And I thought, oh my god, wow, that's so cool. I wonder what story that's from, because, you know, I like to quote and read from the original story and share with you, and that's like one of the funnest parts of the deep dive.
For sure.
So I checked the source of the article, And it had nothing to do with the harp being a bridge. And I was just like, what is happening?
What?
It was
What
the
heck?
article.
That bamboozled us.
The article was about, it was an analysis of poems. It was poems like Edgar Allan Poe and Shakespeare. They had used lutes and harps as the noises that they made as symbols of a heartbeat. And like in the ballpark of like those instruments and the music that they make in like the realm of like symbolizing love, but not particularly anything about Celtic culture and a bridge of love. A bridge of love between heaven and earth. It was very specific what every single article was telling me, and I was like, where is this from? So after hours of research, I couldn't find anything about this bridge of love between heaven and earth that the harp was. But I did find very interesting stories about the harp in Celtic/Irish mythology that I felt that was very interesting, that had to do with kind of love, but not really what I was trying to find. Harps hold a lot of meaning in the Irish mythological stories of the Tuan de Dana. The Tuan de Dana means the folk of the goddess Danu, and they were a supernatural fairy race in Irish culture and were the gods and goddesses of the tales that they had before the rise of Christianity. The pagan gods. I know. I was like, this is fascinating and very hard to pronounce.
Right. Oh my gosh. That's so cool.
So the god of all of the Tuan de Dana, these important fairy gods and goddesses, was Deda. He was the god of fertility and agriculture. It's one of those days.
My brain wanted to read architecture too.
Yes. So Deda had this magical harp that was made out of oak and encrusted with jewels that would fly to his hand like Thor's hammer, which is when he summoned it would come. So it was just like
OP.
I know. And when he would play the harp, he could change the seasons, hence him being the god of fertility in agriculture, because he would control like the seasons.
Nice.
It was said that when he played the harp, he could control the emotions of humanity. And at this point, I was like, this has nothing to do particularly with love. So I was like, I'm just gonna put a pin in this for another episode that isn't about how amazing and cool Irish mythology is. And think about how this connects back to possibly being a symbol of love. So I was like, okay, well, he was a god of fertility. And if that's anything like Greek mythology, then I can see why harps might be a symbol of love, because, you know, fertility, love kind of go hand in hand.
Right.
So I moved on to the next, like, trying to dig a little deeper to see if I could find anything about this bridge of love. And I found not the bridge of love, but another goddess. Her name was Abel, and she was the god of love and untimely death of lovers and prophecy. She was a very interesting character because she is also, in some stories, the queen of the banshees. And
what?
I know.
Okay, that sounds so metal.
I know. I was like, I thought she was a fairy. How is she a banshee? Apparently, the word banshee stems, if I remember correctly, from something to do with bringers of death. She also had a harp, and when she played her harp, it was said that it was so beautiful, if mortals listened to it, they would die shortly after. I was just like,
okay.
She's intense. Abel,
yeah, makes sense, because like the
intense.
banshee in Greek culture was like, you know, they lure you in and then they kill you.
Yeah, so she aligns with that.
Yeah, that's cool though. Very much metal.
Yes. In stories for instance, she had a fight with one of her lovers, and in her wrath and argument, she was like, well, you're gonna fall, your kingdom's gonna fall, and your family's gonna fall, and it
Whoa.
did. So she prophesied that, and they all perished. So that's why she is the goddess of love, and all those really specific other things. And I was just like, okay, where's this bridge of love, guys? I was like 3 hours deep.
To other things. It's
I know.
Come on.
I was 3 hours deep, and I was like, just trying to find this bridge of love, guys.
It's exhausting.
It was very exhausting. And then after her, I found another god, I should say. His name was Angus. He was also a god of love. Angus also had a golden harp, but his was like typical lighthearted stuff. He was like, I have a golden harp, and my kisses turn into messenger birds. His was just really cute, but also nothing about a bridge. So in the end,
unfortunately,
I know. In the end, I was just left to hope that every article that I read about this bridge of love between heaven and earth being a harp was true, because I just couldn't find anything to definitively prove that. And I was even like thinking about reaching out to one of our study abroad people that we met.
Oh, really?
She was I was thinking about hitting up Claire, because she's from Ireland, so I was like, maybe she'd know.
Yes. She'd be like, what? Okay.
Claire, I just need to know.
Love to help, though.
I know. I should check.
I mean, and also assuming that she even knows anything about that.
I know. I know.
It's part of the history, but like me as an American, I'm just like, I don't know anything like extensive about American history, so
right,
like,
exactly. So I'm just like, I don't want to bother.
She's an artiste.
I know. Every single article was like, Irish and Celtic culture believes that the harp is a bridge, and I was like, okay, I guess I just have to believe you on that. And then there was another claim in all the articles that was right next to this bridge of love claim, where in Iceland and Norway, the harp strings are said to form a ladder that symbolizes the ascent to higher stages of love and other pathways to paradise. And I'm gonna be honest, after the fiasco with the Celtic lore and not really finding anything about this bridge of love, I was not about to waste my time on something that may or may not be true. So I'm gonna leave it up to the cosmos to prove me right or wrong, prove that article right or wrong, because I'm not about to waste my time on that.
Right, and that's a good call.
Yeah. So I can only hope that that is true, and that harp strings are said to form a ladder to symbolize that higher level of love and a path to paradise. So after that grueling research on not really things that I found in the initial articles, there was one saving grace, and that was harps in Christian mythology. Mm-hmm. In Christian mythology, the harp is actually noted as a huge symbol of love and devotion. This is because David, for those who are not Christian or who are like me and was raised Christian and didn't really learn anything during Mass because you didn't pay attention and you haven't gone around and reading the Bible, David would become the second king. He would surpass the first king of Saul, and the story about how he came to be the second king revolves a lot around him playing the harp. So, at a very young age, he was inspired to play the harp because of its healing and peaceful noises. He would use his harp to express his love and devotion to God. David had this special ability to join heaven and earth with his harp, and eventually that brought him to play in front of the first king of Israel, King Saul, to comfort and heal his troubled soul. And eventually, this would lead him to succeed King Saul, and he would be the second king of Israel. So I really loved reading about the harp and its connection to Christianity because it's just like one step closer to God, and like I have faith in God. I just don't do all the textbook things that you should be doing as a Christian. So this
it's like a new age Christianity is just well, you just incorporate God into your daily life. You acknowledge him. That's kind of what I do too.
Yeah. So it's nice to know biblical stories more than I did yesterday.
Yes, for sure.
And then it was just interesting to see the harp playing this kind of role of love in the context of a biblical story.
Yes, and it makes so much sense that this would kind of tie in more with Black history too, because our culture is huge on Christianity, and that's kind of what most of us were raised on. So there you go. You got the tether, and I know you're about to drop some knowledge. So let me stop talking.
Heck yes. Okay. So choosing a symbol of love and finding a piece of art that aligns with said symbol while also making sure it was created by a Black artist was very difficult, mostly because I live under a rock anyways and don't know artists in general. So getting to, deep dive, like, who are the top Black artists, whose art can I look at, does it have any symbolisms that I could possibly take? And I had passed by Augusta Savage's The Harp before I even picked the harp, because I was like, I passed it by and I didn't know that the harp was a symbol of love, so that when I read the article that it was, I was like, oh my god, Augusta Savage, let me go back and pick that up. And even Naja almost picked it because it's just like, it aligned so well.
It came up, like, when I was looking at Black artists, that piece came up and I was like, okay. The same thing happened to me. Yes.
So, also, just side note, I just love her name. It's such a badass name. Augusta Savage.
Yes, right? I agree completely.
A lot of this information I got from the Smithsonian. Love you, Smithsonian. Augusta Savage was an American sculptor and educator who battled racism to secure a place for African American women in the art world during the Harlem Renaissance. She faced opposition in doing her art at a very young age by her own father, who was a Methodist minister. She would mold sculptures out of local red clay and had been quoting saying, he almost whipped all the art out of her when she was doing her art. So, even in the face of opposition, eventually she would find success and move to New York during the Harlem Renaissance. During the Harlem Renaissance, for those who do not know, the Harlem neighborhood in New York City became a Black cultural mecca in the early 20th century, which resulted in a subsequent social and artistic explosion. So that's like the era where like soul became a thing, like R&Bs and blues.
That era is very important for Black history.
So y'all should know about this anyways.
Y'all listen to all that music y'all listen to? Okay, most of that is really inspired by Black
it is built on top
and music
of what was built there. So
respect. RESPECT. I can spell.
Yes. So Savage during this Renaissance would go on to establish the Savage Studio of Arts and Crafts. She became an influential teacher and the first African American member of the National Association of Women Painters and Sculptors. In 1937, she was appointed the first director of the Harlem Community Arts Center and was commissioned by the New York World's Fair of 1939 to create a sculpture symbolizing the musical contributions of African Americans.
Wow.
In come the harp. This is the piece. This is the piece in which she would be exhibiting during this New York World's Fair. Negro spirituals and hymns were the form Savage decided to symbolize in the harp. Fun fact, Savage originally called this piece Lift Every Voice and Sing to pay homage to the Black National Anthem, written by James Weldon Johnson. And dude, I have never heard this song in my life, and it is a crime.
Joking? Okay.
It is a crime.
It is a crime, but also I just heard, like, we all know the Super Bowl is happening right now.
Yeah.
So they were singing the national anthem, and then I heard the Black national anthem, and I was just like, yes. I don't remember if they ever, like, if they did that every year, but I was like, oh my gosh, they're singing it. Holy crap.
Dude.
So cool.
I think after, the whole kneeling situation, when Black Lives Matter was becoming like a forefront in social media and like political and all that situation, the NFL actually decided that, I forget what night, but like at least one, I think the first game of the year, they play both. And some people were like outraged by that. I was like, hell yeah, do it, because it's important.
I mean, it's just an extra song. Like, come on.
I know, and it's a really good song.
Time. We want to hear it, okay? They don't realize how like much that is important, to hear that, because as generations go on, like kids are not going to remember that even existed,
Yeah, for sure. And I looked the song up after reading that it was the Black National Anthem, and I was bawling my eyes out.
No? Oh my gosh, okay.
It is so powerful when it's sung. I was just like, I want to cry now because it's so good.
Did you listen to the actual song and like someone singing it?
Yes, it was so good.
Yes.
It was an acapella,
and
I'm
much soul.
I think I'm gonna put it like in the background of like this section so that you can kind of hear what it is, because it's just a crime if you haven't heard it. It's just so powerful. And basically, if you haven't heard it, it's the gist of it is Naja should explain it, because she knows more, and I feel like it's only right that she explain the meaning of the song.
Okay. Well, I will read it for the audience. Okay, here we go. Lift every voice and sing, till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise, high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. And I could sing it, but then, I also don't remember how it goes, like phonetically, so I didn't want to butcher it. But yes, it's basically a poem, in itself. But yes, the Black National Anthem is basically like a call to all of us, Despite our adversities, we all still come together and we sing and rejoice in the Lord's name.
Yes.
Despite everything we've been through, we all come together in solidarity and praise the one we hold most high, and just have the joy and the love, and it's just that's just the Black spirit. Like, despite everything, we still hold love and truth very high.
Yes. And that's why I was bawling my eyes out. It was so good.
It's a relic.
The poem is longer than what Naja has read, but it's the first stanza, and even just this portion is just already so profound and well spoken. And I am not surprised that Augusta Savage made her the harp based on this and initially named it after the Black National Anthem.
Yeah, it's very fitting.
Looking at the harp, it was cast in plaster and finished to resemble black basalt. The harp was made of 12 black singers in graduated sizes and thicknesses to emulate the strings of a harp. Even the folds kind of mimicked the linearness of the strings of the harp. Underneath the singers, supporting them, was the arm and hand of God, which mimicked the soundboard, or like the curvy thing.
The frame.
The frame of the harp was the arm of God. The place where the foot pedals would be is represented by a kneeling man holding music. Unfortunately, Savage did not have the funds to cast this piece in something more durable, and because of its largeness, no facility could store it, And when the fair closed, the art piece was demolished. So the original does not exist anymore.
That is so messed up.
It is.
That's so messed up.
My jaw was on the floor when I read that because I just didn't want it to be true. It was such a...
Right?
It is a huge piece. Yeah. I don't remember like the actual sizes, but it looked like at least 3 people tall. Mm-hmm. It was amazing.
Wow, that's huge.
No wonder like no facility was large enough and could, you know, cope with housing that. Yeah, but still,
the grandness.
Like, for real, I was just like, why though? Why did it have to get demolished?
Yeah.
This piece took her 2 years to make, and she did it on a leave of absence from her job as director of Harlem Community Arts Center. And it only got worse from there, because after she was done with the fair, she found out her job got replaced. Like, she could no longer go back to her job.
What is that tomfoolery? What is that? How could this have happened?
Her 2-year piece gets destroyed. She can't go back to her old job. The Harlem Community Arts Center after that got, what's the word? Bankrupt? It went bankrupt. So no more art community.
It was bankrupt, so it didn't lose funding. It was just bankrupt.
It's there's a word like
foreclosed?
dissolved.
Yeah,
something like that.
Dissolved, yeah.
Something like that. So that closed, and then she tried to make a new studio or like art community to replace it, and that also tanked because of lack of funds.
Oh my gosh.
So it was just like, it was really heartbreaking. I wouldn't
be able to take it. I'd just be so defeated.
Well, she couldn't take it either because she retired after that in the 1940s.
Shout out to her. Shout out to Miss Savage. She really tried her damnedest.
We don't blame her for retiring.
Yeah.
So, in the context of love, this piece is a literal love letter to the finally recognized accomplishments of Black artists during the Harlem Renaissance. Like King David's devotion and love for God with his harp, the hymns and spirituals that Black people created to get through slavery and oppression and racism is based in love and faith and devotion to God, that one day there will come a day that there is no longer a fight for a seat at the table, and that there will be liberty and equality. God is literally lifting them up and holding them to new heights, supporting them as they sing of hope for brighter days.
Yeah.
And when I know, right? It was really powerful stuff that night.
I love it so much. I was just eating it up. I'm eating it up.
Yes. So the robes themselves also reminded me of pillars. Mm-hmm. Pillars fundamentally are symbols of support and strength and security. And in making this huge embodiment of Negro spirituals and hymns for the world to see as a symbol of contribution of the Black artists during the Harlem Renaissance was perhaps her way of lifting up her voice and supporting her community by presenting a symbol of Black resilience and strength.
Awesome. So good.
I know. There is something also really, really powerful at the guy who's kind of kneeling. To me, instead of him like kneeling, it looks more like he's getting up and he's in motion, getting ready to stand after he picked up a sheet of music, about to join the choir. He is also, unlike the other robed statues, shirtless, which I thought was interesting. Shirtlessness is akin to feeling vulnerable, but also freeing, which I thought was very poetic.
And I think like in the historical, like when you look at the pictures of slaves and everything, like all the men usually were shirtless and had like slashes on their back and stuff, so that's very powerful to add into that.
Oh my god, you're so right.
You know, provides more of that history that you can't look away from. Like you can't act like it didn't happen.
Yes.
So, and I know that he doesn't have slashes on his back. He's like, you can't see his back, but I would, you know, and he looks like a child, I think. So
like a teen.
I don't know if they I don't know if they really like whipped the children, but they might have. I don't know.
The stories they would make us read about, the autobiographies, the kids were treated no different.
Yeah.
Which was a shame.
Oh my gosh, you're so right. You're so right.
Property. Not anymore, beaches.
Yeah, right. It contributes to like the adultification of Black children, so that makes sense.
Yes, 100%. So yeah, what do you think? How do you feel about this piece in regards to,
I think it's
love?
so profound. I love it so much, and like I'm looking at this picture right here, and their faces, I don't know, it's just I feel some type of way when I look at their expressions, and it's just beautiful. It's I can't imagine making something like this because I suck at sculpting and everything. So this is something that is really, and just to think of how big it was too, it's just so awe-inspiring, you know?
I know. And I'd like to add that spirituals and Black choirs are always some of the most soulful singers I've ever listened to.
Absolutely. I was raised on that, and I can feel that inside of this piece. Like I can almost hear them singing. Like it's bringing me back to church. Yes. Makes me proud. Very proud to be a Black woman.
Yeah. Augusta Savage really had that ability to bring out the essence of her people, you know.
Yeah.
In their expressions. You can, like you said, you can just hear them.
Yeah, for sure.
I would like to end on a quote from Augusta Savage. Even though it's really sad that her original work was demolished, she had a real passion for when she had taught kids in her time. And she was quoted saying, "If I can inspire one of these youngsters to develop the talent that I know they possess, then my monument will be their work. No one could ask for more than that." And I have faith that her students and many people who, like us, looking at her work and analyzing it, gaining something from looking at her work, we are inspired by her story and that her legacy is literally monumental.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my gosh. I just feel so full, you know? I feel so full.
I know.
I'm so proud of what my people have accomplished since not even that long ago. Like when you think about it, our history as a people is like it hasn't been that long since that stuff was happening, and it like really puts it into perspective, and it really like makes me appreciative of the life that I live now. Like I would not be here without their trials and tribulations.
And I think that's part of why maybe I get so emotional. Keep doing it, keep getting emotional about it, because I'm so happy that you get to live this life where you're following your passions. And like I think even your family was like kind of like, oh, I don't know, she's being an artist. And like Augusta Savage was one of those first Black artists who were women. She paved the way for artists like you to have a seat at the table. So I'm just so happy for you and all that you get to do, and that we live in this
happy
time.
For all of my fellow sisters out there, if you're listening, we love you, and we are just so thankful for where we are now.
Yes. Yay.
Keep following your passion. Don't give a crap about what anyone tells you that you can't, you know. I know it's kind of hard for Black women to kind of get a foothold in any industry, anything at all, because we just, though we have a lot of expectations put on us, we also have a lot of roadblocks which, you know, we have to deal with, but we always overcome.
Yes.
So, and we will continue to do so.
Yes, 100%. After the uphill battle that was us trying to find a Black artist and aligning a symbol of love, my thoughts on this whole process was that I wish that there was even more well-known Black artists out there, because that would make my job easier. But that the world doesn't live that way, and it's just not as easy as snapping your finger and black artists being prominent in a Eurocentric world. So I encourage our listeners to send me some black artists that you know, contemporary.
Send us your favorite artists.
Yes, any artist, but I would like more black artists, please.
Of course, yes.
because it's just so Eurocentric.
We definitely need more exposure out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's funny that, we are making strides. Our generation is really making strides to kind of make art industries and entertainment industries more inclusive and to include people like us that have voices that deserve to be heard.
Yes.
And people are getting mad that things are changing, and it's like, what do you expect? we exist, and we deserve to also be, pushed and promoted to people, because we all have things to say, and we have things to provide, and we're freaking talented. Like, come on,
Yes.
Eventually, we won't even. Well, not to say that we won't worry about it, but eventually we'll get to a point where we won't even have to think about how important inclusivity is. It'll just be natural. Like, it just matters.
There will be no question. There's no question at all. It just should. Just should be.
Exactly. Exactly. It should be how that is.
Yes. As two women of color.
So awesome.
You're the best partner I could ever ask for.
You're the best partner.
I love you so much, dude.
I love you too. The season of love.
Yes. Oh my God. Full circle.
Yes, full circle. Absolutely.
Yay. Well, viewers and listeners out there, we hope that you have an amazing season of love and Super Bowl, even though you won't listen to this until the end of this month. But we wish that whenever you are listening to this, that it was a good time.
Yes, we hope your February was well, and we hope you guys have a great March. Well, that'll be an interesting month.
Woo!
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I don't remember what our theme is for March, so I can't even plug it.
Shit. Looks it up real quick. It's femininity. Oh.
Yes, okay, yes. Tune in next month. We will be talking about next month our theme is femininity. So we will be looking for some female artists, and well, I think there's an emphasis on female artists.
Yes,
right?
there is.
Okay. Yes. That is going to be such a fun month.
Because we are ladies.
We are ladies of the arts.
What is it? Is it Women's History Month?
Is it Women Appreciation
Yes,
Month?
it's National Women's History Month in March.
Yes, okay.
So
absolutely.
Get on that.
Very important stuff right there. We are of that.
We lift up where we can. We support the communities where we can.
Yes, absolutely. Well, this was super fun.
Yes.
Can't wait for next time. And thank you guys for listening.
Thank you guys for listening. Bye.
Bye. Woo, we did it.
We did it.